Arteta spending 240 million euros on 11 different defenders over the course of 5 years is insane, but I hear it. Yes, guys, welcome back to the Mids NBA channel, where we will be covering everything football related. And as you can see by the title, we are talking about Arsenal and Arteta's spending madness and spending addiction with defenders. I don't understand it, you guys don't understand it, and that's why we're here to talk about it. I'm not gonna lie, Arsenal are quietly building one of the best defenses in European football. But before we get into the video, make sure you click the subscribe button to join MB United. That is what I'm calling you guys. I can't lie to you, I'm still working on the name, so bear with me. Anyway, subscribe to join the community where we are all football lovers, all passionate about football. And I'll be keeping you guys entertained with videos like this, shorts, trivia and polls on the community tab, and just everything football related, both Champions League, Premier League, international, other leagues, you name it, and even some in real life stuff, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the video so we can understand Arteta's addiction of buying defenders. So to add a bit of context to the story, Arteta took over in the winter of 2019, where this was his inherited backline. You had Leno, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz, and one Bukayo Saka playing left back. Now looking at it, that is not a pretty defense. Now in this period of time, Arsenal made themselves known in the league for being the team that you can easily rattle, you can bully them off the ball, and their defense is quite leaky. Truth be told, this is a description that resonates with Arsenal going back as far as probably about 2008, maybe 2009. After enjoying some success with the Invincibles era, Arsenal started to fall off because of the lack of investment and the lack of quality in the team. Most of the investment made in the team post 2009 were on small diminutive players that are both gifted technically and can deliver on the pitch. With that being said, the defense was often quite neglected, and the signings that were made in defense weren't that great, aside of maybe a few players such as Nacho Monreal, Koscielny, and we'll throw Mertesacker in there as well. In the 1920 season, Arsenal had these defenders on their books. We had Sead Kolasinac, Socrates, Callum Chambers, Shkodran Mustafi, who despite being a World Cup winner, massively underwhelmed. David Luiz, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari, who he had signed from Flamengo for about 4 to 7 million euros. Mavropanos, Zek Medley, Kieran Tierney, Nacho Monreal, Hector Bellerin, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and Cedric Suarez arriving for free from Southampton. Now if we just look at these defenders, I'm not even going to show my face, just look at these defenders. These defenders are not defenders that are going to make you competitive for the league or potentially even get you back into Champions League football consistently. With this being said, Arteta decided to splash out around 30 million euros to get Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille, who, I'm not going to lie to you, till this day, I think is extremely underrated, but has completely transformed that Arsenal defence. Now, I did also forget to mention that under Unai Emery in the summer, his last summer being Arsenal coach, he did also acquire the services of William Saliba, but then he did go back on loan to Saint-Etienne for the rest of the season. Now the only differences that year from those defenders is the fact that Socrates in the winter had then been released by Arsenal and went to go join Olympiacos. Now by the end of the 21-22 season, we're starting to see a lot of defenders join Arsenal that do not match the defenders that joined previously. We had Ben White join from Brighton for around 50 million, Takehiro Tomiyasu and Nuno Tavares join. Now these are three defenders who are very young in age and on very low wages. Again, a complete opposite to the likes of David Luiz, Socrates, Mustafi, who were much older and on much higher wages at the time. Again, with this, there were some departures as well. Ainsley Maitland-Niles went on loan, and after being relegated for Southampton, was then released for free by Arsenal, and I think now plays his football in Lyon. The second difference to Arteta's first backline is David Luiz, who personally, I think got too much hate for some of the mistakes that he made, but nonetheless, he made mistakes. He now plays his football back in Brazil for Flamengo. Now we fast forward 1 year to the end of the 22-23 season, and there are only 3 survivors from Arteta's first ever Arsenal defence, and that is Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez, and Kieran Tierney. This meant that Arteta had to clear out a lot of dead wood from that Arsenal defence for the likes of players that A, weren't playing, weren't fit, and also had very high wages. That would mean they would stop their ability in the transfer market to sign the talent they really want. Now this includes the likes of Hector Bellerin, Callum Chambers. There are a lot of players that definitely needed to be off the books, and Arteta and Edu both knew that. Now by the end of 2023, we had added Jakub Kiwior, Alexander Zinchenko, and Austin Trusty. Austin Trusty gets a mention because we still bought him, even though he didn't really feature for Arsenal. we still added him to the ranks. But again, you had Alexander Zinchenko, a defender who can definitely impact the now Arsenal team, and then also inspired for the future, we had Jakub Kiwior, a young defender from Italy who is there to learn, and again, a player for the future. Very young, low wages, ticks both boxes for Arteta and Edu. Now we fast forward one more season to the end of the 23-24 season, where we have added both Jurrien Timber and now Ricardo Calafiori. This defense is making a lot more sense. Now we look back to the picture of Arteta's first ever Arsenal full defense, and these are players that were aging on very big wages and frankly weren't performing up to the levels that Arteta needed. But if you look at Arteta's defense now coming into the 24-25 season, we have the likes of William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ricardo Calafiori, Jurrien Timber, Zinchenko, Kiwior, Tierney, who is still on the books. We have Ben White and Takehiro Tomiyasu. A complete difference both in numbers and quality to the defense that he had inherited 5 seasons ago now. Not only a question of is the quality different, but the fact that he has spent around 250 million euros transforming the entire defense, I would say it's money well spent. Personally, I don't think it's money just thrown away. I think this is money well spent. And to transform a football club, if over the 5 years you're there, you spend around 50 million a year on average, bettering the defense to get to Arsenal's level of last season, where we were the best defense in the league conceding the fewest of goals, I'd say it's a job well done. Now I understand, add context, we only won the FA Cup and we won the Community Shield twice. Is it really good enough in terms of trophies? No, but that's not the point of the video, so shh. Arteta spending 240 million euros on 11 different defenders over the course of 5 years is insane, but I hear it. Because nowadays, more than ever in football, you need to spend big if you really want to make a difference. I think the only thing that would make Arteta's defensive spending spree a bit better is if the assets that we were letting go of, either by releasing or just letting them go for pennies, were actually worth anything in terms of a transfer value. Because again, these are players that were old, on big wages, and frankly, nobody wants to sign that type of player. Etu put it perfectly in an interview the other day. If these players are getting on in age, aren't performing on the pitch that well, and are on big wages, nobody wants to buy these players. So it makes sense they're going to spend big in order to completely transform the defense and the team. Now for a quick recap, Arteta's first ever backline had Leno, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Sokratis, partner in David Luiz, and Bukayo Saka at left back. Where are they now? Leno got sold to Fulham for a measly £3 million. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, after some not really successful loan spells, ended up being released and then picked up by Lyon for free and now plays there. Sokratis and David Luiz are both released years later, and funny enough, both play in their home countries. Sokratis now plays for Olympiacos and David Luiz plays in Brazil for Flamengo, so I guess it worked out well for them. Now left back Bukayo Saka, there's enough said about him. He's one of the best right wingers in the world now, and performing consistently not only for Arsenal but for England. And if you look at Arteta's backline now, we have David Raya in goal, we have Ben White at right back, a great partnership of Saliba and Gabriel in centre half, and the now left back spot is up for grabs. There's a bit of a toss up between, do you play Timber there, do you play Tomiyasu there, Zinchenko, what's happening with him, Calafiori, we've just signed him, who's a centre half and a left back and also a CDM, so is he going to play there? Who knows? One thing about this roster of defenders is their undeniable quality. Last year we saw that the 4 to 5 heavily used defenders by Arsenal last year were rock solid. Conceding the fewest amount of goals in the Premier League is a massive feat, especially for a team that, like I said, were previously known for leaking goals. This is a massive improvement. Now let's put this up for grabs. If you were to spend 250 million over the next 5 years, and I told you that with that you can have one of the best defenses in Europe, would you take it or would you leave it? Be honest. Because for me, I'm biting your hand off for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Aside of maybe Real Madrid and maybe Man City, I don't think there's another team with better quality in depth than Arsenal when it comes to defense. Yeah, I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna stand on that. But you guys let me know in the comments below. Am I completely insane for thinking Arsenal have one of the best defensive depths in European football? Or am I even more crazy for thinking that 250 mil on 11 different defenders is good business? Let me know in the comments below. Arsenal fans, do you agree with me? Am I wrong? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you're not an Arsenal fan, don't worry, stay tuned. I've got a lot more content that will definitely be covering your club coming in the future. But as always, leave a like, hit the subscribe button to join MB United. That name is still a work in progress. But join the community of football lovers, tacticals, casual football fans, all of it. If you love football, this is where you need to be this year. But as always, it's been your boy Miz MB, and I will see you when I see you. Yes.